A Plantation Act. Also known as Al Jolson in the Plantation Act. A Plantation Act is a 1926 10-minute long early sound short film which was directed by Philip Roscoe and produced by Warner Bros. Pictures. The film was made as an early test for the Vitaphone sound system. It was the second film to utilize Vitaphone technology after Don Juan, which was made in the same year. Jolson signed a Vitaphone contract on the 25th of August 1926 and was given a salary of $25,000 for the one-reel film. The film was shot at the Manhattan Opera House on the 7th of September 1926 and premiered exactly 1 month later on the 7th of October that year at the Colony Theatre in New York as a part of Warner Bros.' second major Vitaphone presentation. It was positively received by critics. The film fell into obscurity and by 1933 it was considered lost. The film became one of the top priorities of the then newly formed Vitaphone project, and in 1993 the film was found in the Library of Congress, mislabeled as a preview for The Jazz Singer. However, the film that was found had no audio. Two members of the then newly formed Vitaphone project, John Newton, himself a Jolson collector, and David Goldenberg, went on the hunt for the soundtrack. The two sought out the help of a man named Bill Capello. Capello helped the two track down relatives of former performers and studio employees. Capello came into contact with one of the relatives of a long-deceased collector who supposedly owned a rumored copy of a Plantation Act audio. Newton began writing letters to the family of the alleged owner, and months later Newton received a telephone call from the former owner's daughter. Now, this is where I run into some conflicting information. Ron Hutchinson of the Vitaphone project said the owners were in Maryland. However, the Vitaphone project itself claims they lived in Baltimore. The two made arrangements to meet the widow of the collector, and the disc was successfully resumed from the family. Although the disc had been successfully resumed, the disc itself was in poor condition. It had been broken into 4 pieces and put together with epoxy. A project member, Sherwin Dunner, suggested a fellow collector, a man named Bill Coprider, who was known for his restoration efforts. After a few months, the film was successfully restored. The film was digitized and was released on a Laserdisc in the 1990s. I couldn't find which one though. The film was also included as a bonus feature on the 2007 DVD to The Jazz Singer. The film itself is just a 10-minute video of Jolson singing. There isn't much to it other than its historical value to cinema and early sound films. It's worth a watch if you're interested in early talkies like me and like maybe 5 other people. The Scarlet Drop. The Scarlet Drop is a 1917 Western film directed by John Ford and starring Harry Carey. Like many films of its era, it was lost with only 30 minutes being available in the Getty archive. The film remained lost until January 2024, when it was found in an abandoned warehouse in Provincia, Chile, by film historian Jaime Corveta Ortega. The film was restored and digitized and was screened at the Valparaiso Recovered Film Festival organized by Corveta. Frankenstein. For many years now, there have been many versions of Frankenstein in popular culture, from movies, cartoons, books, and television. It's clear that Mary Shelley's Frankenstein hasn't stayed far from popularity even after all these years. Lots of different artists have put their spin on the story of Frankenstein. One of the earliest adaptations of Frankenstein goes all the way back to 1910 with J. Starl Dowley's film Frankenstein. Frankenstein is a 1910 silent horror film based on Mary Shelley's 1818 novel. The film was directed by the aforementioned J. Starl Dowley and was produced by the Edison Studio. The film only took 3 days to record and was released on the 18th of March 1910. The film did well upon release and received positive reviews. One review from the Moving Picture World stated that the monster creation scene was the most remarkable ever committed to a film. The film became lost over time, with the only things remaining was a plot summary and a still taken from the Edison Kinogram. In the 1950s, the film was sold to a Wisconsin film collector named Alois Felix Ditlaff from his mother-in-law, who was also a film collector. Ditlaff had the film for years, oblivious to its rarity. It wasn't until 1980 when the American Film Institute put the film on its top 10 most wanted lost films list. Dyatlov would travel around America showing the film in movie festivals and monster conventions, but didn't archive the film for years. It came to a point when film director Robert Wise tried to convince him to archive the film. The film would be eventually released on DVD in 2003, and also in 2003, the film was made into a 40-page comic written by Chris Yarber and illustrated by Robert Beyarn. Beyond the Rocks. Beyond the Rocks is a 1922 romantic drama film based on the 1906 novel of the same name, directed by Sam Wood, and starring Rudolph Valentino and Gloria Swanson. The film fell into obscurity over time and eventually became lost. Renewed interest for the film came after Swanson stated she had an interest in seeing the film resurfaced for a modern audience, especially on the 50th anniversary of Valentino's death in 1976. The film remained lost for years until a print was found in the Netherlands. The film was restored by the Netherlands Filmmuseum and the Hague Film Conservation. It was given a screening in 2005 and was released on DVD in 2006.